I cannot believe this. I literally got a flat tire at the top of the Houston ship channel. However many miles above the port of Houston. I just really cannot believe this. 7:06 p.m. So how long am I going to be here waiting for roadside assistance? And how are they going to get me out of here? Because this is dangerous. I'm sitting over here next to the fast lane, because this is where I was when my tire blew. And I can't even get out the car. Sitting here, sitting on the shifting bridge. I don't need this, Jesus. I don't need this. Lord, I thank you. I made it home. My hair is a mess, standing on top of that ship channel where the wind was knocking me everywhere. But thank God I made it home safely. Oof. What's up, Auntie babies? Y'all, I'm in the house really kind of relaxing now, decompressing after this whole little incident. And I'm sitting here reflecting on the whole ordeal. When the tire first blew, I don't know when it blew. I just realized at some point there was a loud truck next to me, and when the truck pulled ahead, I could actually hear that some of that noise was actually my car. And when I looked over, I saw smoke coming up by the wheel, the front passenger side wheel. So that's when I pulled over, called roadside assistance through my insurance, Elephant Insurance. They're great. And a guy picked up the job. He called me, stayed on the phone with me until he figured out where I was. He couldn't believe that I was actually at the top of the ship channel. He had never heard of the ship channel. He's not from Houston, so he wasn't familiar with the terminology of ship channel. So he didn't know what it was. I just said it's a big bridge, bro, and I'm at the top. So he came and blocked off the fast lane. So basically, he could get in their lane. He was parked right behind me, a couple feet, so that he could safely put on my spare. And he's there. And while he's there, two things happen. I mean, that are just kind of out of. I mean, people are crazy, y'all. So on the opposite side of the freeway, this lady pulled into the side, and so I see her looking, but she's on the opposite side of the freeway, so it's like, what are you doing? I guess she was trying to see if I was okay or if I had help, but he was already there. So she drove off, and I look up, and there's another car behind his truck that pulled into the lane as well. And at first I was like, is that my sister? Is that my niece? And I walked up and I realized, no, that's not them. And so the lady, she's pulled alongside his truck in the service lane. And so she's like, oh, I'm not a good driver. I'm scared. So I just decided to go around his truck this way so that I could. So she literally, and it took her forever. She waited until he finished with my tire and moved out of the way and then pulled out back into the lane. She inched back out into the lane, y'all. And so, as he's finishing up the tire, he got the tire on. He was making sure it was full of air. He had a pump. He was pumping my spare full of air. And so he's on the passenger side, and I'm on the driver's side, standing by the door, looking over at him. And the lady who was in the opposite side of the freeway pulls up next to him. And she says, oh, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay. I see that he's here now and he's done that. He's changed your tire, blah, blah, blah. And so he's talking to her in the mirror in her window, and he kind of does like a double take and looks at her. And so I'm like, okay, thank you, but I'm okay, thank you. And as she drives off, and he looks at me, he says, she didn't have any clothes on from the waist down. He said, like, literally full bush. Like, what was you gonna do? How was you gonna help, lady? The weirdest stuff, y'all. The weirdest stuff. Oh my gosh. I don't know what she thought she was gonna do with no drawers on. You wasn't gonna get out, was you? How was you gonna help? Y'all, people are crazy. That's it. That's all. I just had to reflect on that. I mean, that just came back to me. The whole way home, I was so nervous, just driving slow. But yeah, now that is all coming back to me. I remember that, and that was crazy. Okay.